do that. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to start sharing my screen. So we were saying as we were waiting for folks to join that I actually think in Google Slides at this point, I think. So I definitely, when I was in college, we had to use PowerPoint to put together our final presentations. And then when I started working with doing presentations and things, that's how I tend to put my ideas together. So it's sort of fun. Different brains work different ways. I'm very linear, and Google Slides and Google PowerPoint both work very well for me. So today we are looking at, as I mentioned, the way Google Club works is we are looking at the whole suite of Google tools, but we tend to try to kind of think about them through different lenses. And this year, the cycle of Google Club that will go through till July, actually I think it ends in May is our last meeting. The overarching topic is digital resilience. How can we ourselves develop a feeling of digital resilience, meaning that we're feeling brave and we can overcome obstacles, and even when we bump into something, we have some ways to help ourselves, get past an obstacle, or at least feel emotionally not too scathed by whatever the problem is. So that's the overarching theme this year. And within that, we are looking at specific Google tools for specific purposes. So today we're looking very exactly at collaboration. And Google tools, I think some of you mentioned, Google tools are particularly useful because they exist in the cloud. You don't have to pay for them. So if a learner or a teacher or a human being is in one place and creates something in their Google account, when they go to another place or a different device, they can see that stuff there and continue to work on it. Microsoft has that ability now. It didn't even used to have that, but now you have Microsoft 365, which really is a web-based, cloud-based suite of tools as well. But it does cost money, and that's really why we concentrate on Google, is that Google not only kind of traveled with you to whatever devices you were on, but also that it was inexpensive/free. Obviously, we are giving away some of our data to Google by using them. And so we do want to be circumspect about what kinds of content we're putting into Google. But Google gives us the software as well as a place to hold all the stuff that we're creating at a very low cost/free. And that ability to put it in the cloud is what makes it very useful for collaboration, because we can both work together in the same document at the same time. If you see in Microsoft, often we can both be in the same document and make edits, but we can't, it's not as much happening in real time. So there's a delay in seeing other people's work show up, where Google is very instantaneous. And then we can also use the same exact kinds of documents and not do them collaboratively. So several of you mentioned Google Classroom. Google Classroom gives you that almost built in, where you as a teacher create a single document, maybe it's a worksheet, and you can give it to your students, assign it to them through Google Classroom, either that they're going to make their own individual version of that worksheet and add their own answers individually, each person having their own document, or collaboratively, right? We could all come into the same document and work on it together. So the particular tools that we're looking at for this idea of collaboration, but really most Google tools have a collaborative component to them because of this cloud-based memory and the fact that we can all come in to the same space at the same time. But the ones that are really built for this, I think, are Google Docs and Google Slides. Spreadsheets are too, but I think as far as functionality for education, Docs and Slides are probably the most. And we're going to talk just a little bit about their version of the online. We're using Zoom today, but you could also be using the Google, and I'm forgetting the name of it suddenly. Let's see what our agenda is. So we're going to be talking about Meet. Sorry, they change their names every now and then, and I get confused. It's been Google Meet for quite a long time, but Google Meet is their video conferencing tool. And again, it's free. It has some bells and whistles that are included in it. And if you wanted to do, if students wanted to meet outside of class, they could meet on Google Meet very easily. It works across all your devices, including your phone. So it has a collaborative component to it as well. But our primary work is going to be in docs and slides. Do you want to take us through a few slides here? I'm going to put us into slideshow mode. So you all know that DYCD sends out or shares all the PD that we offer and other events and things that they're providing on this message board, which you should be able to access. And here's a list of the upcoming Google Club meetings. So today we are in the Collaborating and with Confidence one. We'll be talking next time about creative expression. Then there's going to be some work in Google Forms and Google Sheets with data sense and problem solving. Online citizenship and safety, we'll be looking at how to make sure your information your identity is safe inside Google. Optimizing everyday life, we'll be looking at tasks and calendar, and I think Keep, maybe Google Keep. Empowering lifelong learners. So this is really looking at where you can go get more information if or you or your learners want to continue learning. Workplace productivity. So this is looking at Workspace, which is the whole suite of tools. It used to be called Google Suite, but now it's called Google Workspace. My agency uses Google Workspace, so we have a nonprofit version of that, which is free, and we can then all share our stuff together and we get a lot more memory that way and some other bells and whistles. But you can also pay for Google Workspace, and nonprofit, for-profits pay for it. Education, there's a version as well, but you have to be a .edu to have that. And then the last thing is to talk about sustaining digital resilience in adult education. And this is so one reason we call this Google Club versus just workshop is that the idea here is that you share, right? So you are all doing things. You're out there in the world, working with your learners, trying things out. And this is an opportunity to bring back to us examples that have worked for you, have not worked for you. So I come prepared to talk a little bit about the things I'm interested in or I think that might be useful, but I'm always hoping that you will bring your examples or your experiences in here. So you see these topics, you can kind of think about whether they're interesting or not. We also we're coupling a few of these Google Club meetings a week or so beforehand, in-person basics training. So if you go to this link, I'll open it up. Let's see what it pops up here. Yeah. So on the 7th, we had an in-person session on the basics of Google Drive and Google Slides. So for those of you who are just saying, like, you're not that familiar with it, the idea is you could come to that in-person session and get the very basics. And then when you come to this session, we can talk a little bit more theoretically or about other ways to apply that knowledge. So you'll see we've done that for the first, I think, 3 of them. So this is today's Google Club meeting. The next one will be basics of Google Photos and Google Sites. And that's going to be again in person on the 11th of November. And then we'll have Google Club on the 19th, and we're going to be talking about the use of Google Photos in Google Slides and Google Sites. Then we're going to have another in-person one on December 9th, which will be the basics of Google Sheets and Google Forms. So again, the very, very nitty-gritty basics. And then we come back to Google Club on the 17th to talk a little bit about it in a next level. And then we're going to do Google AI Tools, which is in person on March 3rd. Mm-hmm. And Google Club will be on the March 18th. Did I lose some? Yeah, I lost some Google Clubs. I need to put this in a better order. But anyway, there'll be Google Clubs between December and March. I don't know what happened there. And then we have the basics of Google Calendar, Google Tasks, and Google Keep in April. And again, Google Club on the 22nd. We'll talk a little bit more about using them specifically for workplace productivity. And I'll put in the other Google Clubs. I don't know how those got cut out. I think I cut out the ones that didn't have the in-person version. But between these 2 documents, you'll have access to all this information. So in the slides, links out to both of these. All right. So those are the other workshops that are coming up. And then I know some of my colleagues are doing things. I think Liz Elena is offering something on, oh, what are they called? Boy, I'm losing my words today. I think she's doing, it's a two-part series on making these, oh, it's gone. The word's gone, but I'll find it later on.
Hyperdocs.
Hyperdocs. Thank you so much, Bernard. Yes.
Exactly.
Hyperdocs. So hyperdocs are when you basically bring the whole lesson into a single document, whether it's a Google Slides document or a Google Docs document. So there are links. A student could just have that one document and they could go through every part of your lesson. So that's a lot of fun, and she's going to use AI in there, so that's a good one. But it's a two-parter, and you have to register for it. I think she has it on this calendar, maybe. No, I don't think so. I don't know. We'll make sure you get the calendar for that she's putting out as well.
Yeah.
All right, so the big goal today is to talk about collaboration, right? And how we can make sure that what we're doing with our learners is actually collaborative rather than maybe just smushing things together and having people do things together, but not really collaborative in the full sense of the term. And then we want to make sure that you feel very comfortable sharing your docs and slides exactly the way you want to. So when you're sharing something in Google, you have the ability to share things where you're giving the person receiving the share viewer only access, commenter access, or editor access. And unless you feel really secure in that, this collaborative piece can feel a little scary. So we want to make sure you feel very clear and comfortable in how you are sharing your documents and how you are saving them to places that are useful to you. All right. So we're just going to talk very quickly about digital resilience, just as a reminder that that's our overarching topic. And then we're going to look at collaborative learning, and then we're going to jump into these. And it sounds like you guys are looking for some beginner level stuff. So we'll look at Google Meet, but it's very basic for what we're going to cover today because we're already in Zoom, so we can't really play around in Google Meet. But we'll look at both docs and slides, how you get to them and create them from basics, and then some ways we could use them for collaboration. And this is a AI image. So Google now has AI built throughout it. Google's AI is Gemini. And when you're looking at your tools today, keep an eye out and see where you see AI come in and offer to help you, and maybe try it out because it does pop up. It's very, very I tend to ignore it, and today I played around with it a little bit more, and it's an interesting thing to experience how it's useful, or maybe how it's not useful, and when it would be something you want to try bring into your practice. So digital resilience, we talk about digital literacy, and digital literacy is being able to use all these digital tools. Digital resilience is the idea that your learners are coming to your class today, and they're going to learn all of this stuff from you, and it's fantastic. And then tomorrow they try it and it's changed, right? Or we've all had that experience. I think I came onto Zoom the other day and Zoom had changed. And how do we handle those situations? So we can't we have to live with it, right? That's a constant in the technology world, is that it's always going to be updating and changing. So we need to develop some techniques, both social, emotional, logical, educational, to be able to handle when something goes differently than you expected. I think technology, particularly for teachers, can be there's a big question mark. Why would you want to use it if you don't know that it's going to work for you? Because you expect to be able to come in and do your lesson, and suddenly the thing that you need as a base for your lesson is gone. That would be very alarming. Why would I want to create lessons that that are relying on this very unreliable set of stuff? And what we want to do is work on that, right? So work on the fact that maybe we can make it more reliable because we're going to be more aware and conscious of what we're doing, but also what can we do when there is a problem? Because there's inevitably going to be a problem. And a lot of that's about adaptability and overcoming that immediate sense of dread or alarm when things aren't the way they're supposed to be, and just demonstrating that, being free to share that with your learners because they're going to experience that in their life. And so we want to come to a place where, like, this is how it is. This is the human condition. So it moves us beyond basic digital literacy. So it's fantastic if you're doing, it sounds like several of you have the responsibility of doing digital literacy instruction, and maybe many of you are including it into instruction that you're already doing. When I am teaching teachers how to use technology, I've definitely at times been more of a um, like I'm taking you on a tour and I point out everything and I take you through and I make you feel very safe. But in reality, and that might feel very good, but in reality, you're not actually fully exploring all of this stuff, right? You're being led through it instead of having you go in and just play with it. And sometimes we just need to develop that level of bravery that when we're in there, we can just click around and try things out. I think I've made the joke, some of you certainly have heard it before, that my husband is when we're cooking together, which is rare, he will say things like, what would happen if I added, and it's usually something very strange, and I would say that's not a good idea. I will say in technology, that's a good thing to try out. Like, have that as a comment to yourself. Like, what would happen if I click this button? What would happen if I did try AI right now? Like, just explore, get a little bit further, go a little bit, one more step beyond your safety zone, because you'll find that things are there to help you. And the first time can be a struggle. So you have to kind of try it out a few times. So the way we develop digital resilience is by overcoming obstacles, is by trying things out and learning how to move through failure and developing that growth mindset. We did a workshop a few weeks ago going from digitally, if you're feeling timid about technology and wanting to get to confident, it's not, you're never going to be able to know everything. So you have to learn how to be comfortable with that and know where to go when you need the help. And part of that is learning is having a growth mindset and all these things that we think our students should have anyway, and we as humans just need to have them too. So digital resilience is very important. Be bigger than just digital literacy skills, right? It's that whole sense of how do we move through the world and keep ourselves learning all the time. Collaborative learning, where you probably do a lot. I think with adults, it's a given that we do a lot of collaborative learning. And it is, I think, a very useful way to learn as an adult. And I think for children as well, but I think again, speaking for the area that we're in. So the idea of collaborative learning is that students or possibly students and teachers together are working together, right? So it's not just the teacher standing at the front of the room and lecturing and every individual student is writing their notes or something like that. I know in ESL, which I come from an ESL background, we always had students talking to each other, working in groups, working in pairs. So it's probably part of your practice already, but we're going to now take whatever you've been doing that might have been happening in person or in breakout rooms and do it using digital tools because Google gives us that ability. Um, so we're going to jump right in and we're going to do a little scavenger hunt. And I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. We're going to have groups of 4. And I'm going to give you a document that has all of this broken out, but we'll review it a little bit first. So you're going to be put into breakout rooms, groups of 4. You're going to be doing a scavenger hunt that will take you through the settings in Google Chrome. You're going to have a document that has 6 questions on it, and it's going to ask you how to do certain things, and you're going to write the answers. And in your group, when you first come into your group, you're going to want to decide amongst yourselves how you want to set the work up. Do you want to maybe assign questions so different people are doing different questions? Do you want to share this? Someone's going to share the screen and you can all look at the same document at the same time. The answer at the end is going to be on one document. So you can all have your own versions of the scavenger hunt, but at the end, all your answers should be on a single one. And that one, you're going to share the link from that document to our collaborating shared resources. That's step 5 there. So I'm going to take us to the document and I'm going to put this in this, let me put it in the chat first so you have it. Now I want you, so notice the link here. A typical Google link. Well, let me put this in the chat first. So a typical Google link, right, is, let me just share my slides and we'll see what it looks like. So if I go to share, and I grab this link, right, we know there are two ways to share. One is people with access and one is general access. And I got there by going up to my little share button up here. People with access, that's where you directly invite people to join you. So you're going to put in someone's email address, and it should be the email address that you understand that they use with their Google work, right? So that can be the downside of using this sharing technique, is if you don't actually know if that's their Google account, it's not the best email to send. I'm sure we've all had that experience where someone has sent you a link and you've tried clicking on it and it tells you you need to request access. That's usually because something happened here. They might have invited you with a different email address or something like that. But if you have your, if so, in my work, it's very common that I might share, I might invite one of my colleagues to work on this presentation together. And if I was doing that, I would add the person here. So let's see, I'll add myself in another version, and I get to say what level of access. So again, we see that viewer, commenter, and editor, and you can either have it show up as a notification in their Gmail or not, and then you can send that, and it will automatically show up in their shared with me area. But if you don't want to do it that way, or when I'm working with you guys, I don't do it that way, right? I don't have all your Gmail addresses right now to put in here. So instead I come down to general access and I grab this link. So down here, again, I get to decide viewer access, commenter access, or editor access. So generally with the slides, I don't want you coming in and maybe adding some brilliant slides or deleting some slides or doing anything to my slides. So I give you viewer only access, and that means you can look at them, but you cannot edit them. So I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to make a new slide and I'm going to paste it in here. So I do Control V. So that's what the link looks like. If I click, so right now it's not a live link. How do you know if it's a live link or not live link, or what makes you think it will be a live link or not a live link?
It will turn blue. I mean, you have to.
What is there any visible, like right now, this is just letters and numbers. It looks like a link, but until we, at the very end of that link, I'm going to click my cursor and I'm going to do the space bar. Now it's a live link. So we're
Okay.
used to understanding that underlined and a different color usually means that it's a live link. So that's a live link now. And here's my question to you. So we saw just now that I shared with you, this link is sharing with you at the view only access level, right? I'm going to go back to share. And now I want to change this one, still with the anyone with a link, and I'm going to change it to editor. And I'm going to copy that link. Is that link going to be the same or is it going to be different than this one to look at? Who thinks it's going to
It
be
should
the
be the
same?
same.
So it is going to be the same. So if I paste it here, it's exactly the same. So the view only one had the word edit in it. It had all the same letters and numbers. This is important for you to know. The link will stay the same. There's only one link to this document. You get to decide what level and you can change that. So right now, this is changed. So you actually could go in here right now and delete all my slides if you wanted to do that. If I go back to share and I change this back to viewer, again, both these links are the same and now both will only have view access. So when you are sharing a link with learners, even if you make a mistake or you want to change it, maybe you're going to give them access so they can go in and type their answers until Friday. And then on Friday, you're going to change it so it's view only. So if people are late, they can't do the work. You can do that and they will just have the same link. So 100%, the link stays the same. You can change the level of access behind it. That's a very important thing to be clear on because I think a lot of people, it's very rare that we check this out to see if they both are the same. And because it has the word edit in it, we see that and we sometimes think, oh, well, then I've obviously given them edit access, but you haven't. This doesn't tell you anything about what kind of access people have. The link, you cannot, those are words there, but they don't have any real meaning. What you'll see in the link that I just shared with you, though, or I'm going to share with you, is that I've changed the very end. So it says template preview. So if I take this link, and I'm going to come back to this version and I'll just delete these, right? So if I come here and so again, we said this is a live link. In order to change it, we have to make it not a live link. So if I scroll over it or click on it, I get these options, right? This link would let me go to the document. This lets me copy it, the link. This lets me edit the link, and this removes the link. So for what we're doing right now, we want to remove the link. So if I click on this, you'll see the underline and the color goes away. So we're back to just letters and numbers. They have no meaning yet. If I come in here and I change this to present, this is a slide. Is it a slide document? It is not a slide document, so that doesn't work. Let's do a copy. And we hit enter. Now, let me do the other one there. Okay, so we have two versions of the same link. We've changed the very end of it when it was not live. So when I click on this one, it looks like this. When I click on this one, it looks exactly the same. But this one, when I click on it and go to the actual link, it's going to force me to make a copy. When we're talking about collaborative, making a copy stops the collaboration. There's going to be a new version of this document. So if I make a worksheet or there's something I want everybody to have their own copy, then forcing people to make a copy is a great way to do that. Google Classroom automatically does that for you. That's one of the things that Google Classroom has built into it. If I want, but the downside of this particular sharing is right now I can see the name of the file, but I actually can't see what the file looks like. So this is one way to do it, but I don't like it. When we talk about Google tools, there are many, many ways to do everything. And what I'm always looking for is the most efficient and useful way. This is helpful. It's going to force people to make a copy, but it's not the best way. So the best way, the way that I learned about after I learned about the copy way, is this template preview. So when I click on this and then click on the link, I still don't get a live link. Oh my goodness. I don't know that's taking to the right place. Anyway, we'll look at that in a moment. It doesn't show me, it shows me the document, but it also gives me this option up here, use template. This is like making a copy, right? It's saying I made one version and I want everyone to make their own version.
Mhm.
So by adding template preview at the end of your link, you will force people to see this instead of having their own copy of it. I'm going to go ahead and say use template, but I don't think it's taking you to the right thing. Let's see. Oh, I guess it's just wacky. All right, so this is our scavenger hunt. And in the scavenger hunt, we are being both collaborative and not collaborative, right? I want each group to be in its own document, which is the non-collaborative piece, but within your group, you're collaborative. So to do that is a little complicated, so that's why I want to talk you through it. So in your group, you want one person to open this up, go to the template preview, say yes, make a template, or yes, use the template. Then you want to go into share and you want to give everybody in your group editor access. So you're going to copy this link, and then in the chat inside your group, you're going to share that link. Then everyone will be in the same document. So inside your group, you will all be in one document, and you can all be answering the questions in there together. Does that make sense? Anybody have questions about that? I feel like I'm telling it in a very complicated way, but it will work. So, and this is good practice, right? That you're going to go in and again, only one of you needs to do it, but in your group, that person can share their screen and you can all help each other. So you're going to go to share, you're going to make sure it's edit access, you're going to copy the link, you're going to paste that in the chat in your group, and then everyone in your group will have access to this document. If we go back here, oh, it got away. Okay. When people are sharing with you, when they come into the same document with you, you'll see them listed at the top. So you'll know there are other people in there with you, and that's what you want to be able to see, that they're in there with you. We'll look at that together in a moment when you're all in there together. All right, let me close these out. Okay, so you're going to have this document. There are 6 questions. You're going to type in your answers over here, right? It's a weird table that doesn't show you this side, but there's space there for you to type in your answers. And then you're going to share again, but this time with commenter only access. So what commenter access does is, let me make this a little bigger. Up here, you see this little pencil? This tells you what mode it's in. So we're mostly in editing mode. When we automatically go into a document, you're just automatically in editing. You don't even know this is here. I never look at it. But when we give someone commenter access, you're basically giving them the suggestion access. So they can't come in and delete anything, but they can add comments. And that is very collaborative, right? So you get this little window on the side here, and you get to click on suggest edits. If you've ever used in Microsoft, you can do the same thing where people can make line edits for you, and then you can say whether you accept them or not. Google does have that as well. So you can add comments, which would hang out on the side, right? I think this should be yellow, you could write, and it's linked wherever my cursor was. So edit access is a really nice collaborative way if you want learners maybe to read each other's writing, or you as a teacher are reading a student's writing. You can make comments instead of just going in and fixing the problem, right? So if I think that this word should be lowercase, I can add a comment saying, try using lowercase for this phrase. That's not a very logical comment, but that's a comment, right? And then when the learner comes in, they can come in and they can accept that comment, and then it disappears. So it doesn't get too crazy here. So that's one of the things that happens when you give commenting access. So they can't come in and delete things, but they can comment. So we grabbed that link, right? We copied it, and we're done here. And now we're going to open this step 5. We're going to answer on one Google Doc. You're going to add all your answers, and then you're going to go to this document to share the link to your doc so other people can look at it. But they can only comment. They cannot delete or do anything to your content. So in this case, you want to put the name of your group. I forgot to mention that. You should give your group a name. So I'm going to call myself the Teacup group, whatever you want to call yourselves. And that's the link to your work. And then if there are any notes, like we didn't know answer number 4, or we disagreed, or whatever notes you might want to have in there, you can have. So when we're done with a project, each team, each group of you will have put in one link to the document that has your answers in it. Any questions? So I know that it can be very difficult for some folks to move between different screens and different tabs. If you need to leave our Zoom and come back, you can do that. So you can leave our meeting and then just click on that link again and come back to our meeting. I guess you can't do that really because you're going to be in your in your groups. Well, you can figure that out. If you need to leave for a little while and come back, you can. But what's going to happen next is I'm going to assign you randomly to groups. You're going to do this work. We're going to take, I'm going to give you 10 minutes. So you have a little bit of time. The questions are not hard, but you may not, if you know your Chrome really well, you may know exactly what you're doing. And if you don't, you may need help. The questions are almost all, they're to do with settings. And to get to the settings in Chrome, you need to have Chrome open, which is the Google browser. And up here, there are three dots. And when you click on those three dots and you come all the way to the bottom, you have settings. So this scavenger hunt is all inside there. And you're going to learn, hopefully you'll learn some things that are useful for you in your use of Chrome. So that's the ultimate goal here. Let me start off by, I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to make sure that you guys have the scavenger hunt is in the chat. So when you open that link, you're going to have that template preview version, and you're going to make a copy for yourself. And that has the directions in the top of it as well. I can paste those into this, into the chat here. 1 second. Let me grab them from the chat. Sorry, from the, so. All right, here we go. So these are the directions as well. But again, once you get the document, it will have all the directions at the top. So I'm going to put you into groups of 4 people-ish. How many folks do we have? Yeah, that we'll have maybe we'll do a group of 5 and a group of 6 just to, or 2 groups of 5. So you'll be 2 groups of 5. When you first get in your group, ask questions of each other. If the directions are not clear, you get to ask each other those things. Decide who is going to be the one who's going to share their screen and who's going to share their link to their document so you can all write in that document. And then how you're going to go get the answers. Maybe some of you already know the answers. You don't even have to look them up. If you do look them up, if you Google the answers, you're going to probably get an AI answer. And that's fine, but check out what the AI tells you to do, because sometimes the AI is wrong. In this situation, I found that the AI answers can sometimes be old, like they're referring to an old version of whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I'm not telling you not to use the AI one, but test it. If you try using the AI answer, make sure you do take the steps it says and see if they really work. All right. Without further ado, and I'm going to be here, so you can always come out of your. And I'll come and visit your rooms as well. But if you have a question, you can always come out and visit me. I'll be sitting out here, and I will come in and visit you. So it's 4:54. So I'm gonna pull you out of your breakout rooms at 5:05. Just so you know that. Okay, so let me do the breakout rooms. All right, so those are the breakout rooms. You should see a little pop-up that lets you join them. And if you have any trouble, let me know and I can help you get into whichever room you're supposed to be in. So in room 1, I saw that you guys were working together and seemed to have, you were just in the process, I think, of having access to the same document so other people could type in there. And that was the purpose, right? This collaboration here was that you were both learning together by figuring out how to move through the assignment, but also by typing into the same document, and maybe having different people going out and finding information. And then I know in group two, we hit a struggle where some people were not able to type in the document. So we're going to do a little bit of work on that in a moment to see what could have been the blockage there. So the idea with this is that you should be able to give a link that's edit access, and then everyone should be able to be in there together. And it might not be something you do in breakout rooms. It might be something we do in a large group together. Um, and actually, I haven't gone to see how you guys did with the sharing of the link back. But so I'm going to start my sharing again, and we're going to look at some of this material together. So this was this is the document from group two that some people could not type into, but some people could. And I still don't know what exactly was going on there. We double checked it to make sure that the shared access was edit access. And I can see all the folks that are in here, which is very helpful. When you're teaching, you can see, if you have 7 people in the, oh, maybe this is my version, sorry. That you can see that you have a lot of people coming into the document. If you're not seeing them up there, then that means they haven't joined you yet, and you need to figure out why they weren't able to join you. Let me go to, yeah, this is my version. I don't know. All right. And what I want to go to is our shared. All right. So this was my link. Group one, did you finish? Oh, unmute.
No, we did not finish, but we got pretty far, I guess.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
There's your link. Great.
You want me to share my screen?
You, I can, if you want to share your screen, you can do that. So can I stop you for 1 second? So you just pasted your link, but it's not live. How can we make that link live?
click on, yeah,
Where
put,
do you click? Oops.
no, it
So we can do
disappeared.
Control Z to bring it back. There you go.
Oh,
Oh,
come,
fancy. What happened there? That's not even a live link. That's what do they call those things?
So when I copied the link onto the doc,
Yes.
it popped up and I said click tab. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll click tab.
Very
And
good. So that was a good experiment. So this is great. When you put a link in a Google document, whether it's a doc or a slides or anything like that these days, you're given a few options, right? So if I'm going to remove this link here. So this is my link, and I can click on it. It doesn't do anything. If I go to the very end of it and I
yeah,
put the space bar, it will
it
automatically,
will turn immediately, yeah,
right?
into the,
But now
yeah,
if I click on that one time, I have a few options. And this is what we were just talking about, right? That you could come down here and you can either add the chip, which is what, Araceli, was that you?
yeah, it was.
yeah,
So Araceli clicked on chip and it gives you that little colored bar with the writing in it. Or you could replace the URL with the title of the document. So if I click on replace URL, maybe, of course, my computer is going to be wacky now. Why would it do that? Oh, okay, let me do it this way. For some reason, when I'm low down on my screen, it won't let me click on things. Okay, now if I click on replace URL, nope, still not letting me do it. I don't know. Today's one of those digital resilience days. Anyway, normally if you click on replace URL, it would turn it into the title of the document.
yes,
Um, so any of those are good. Any of those let other people come in here and click on them, right? So you can see as I scroll over this, but it looks like I don't have access. So what level access did you include when you created that link, group one? Araceli, was that you?
So when I clicked on the copy link
Yeah,
option, it said anyone with the link can view. So I'm not sure. Well, I thought it would have worked fine.
for everyone, yeah.
I think Google's broken is what's happened. Things going on where we're all the things that should normally just be very easy are not working today. Um, what Araceli described is exactly right, right? If this was my document and I'd filled in all my answers and I was going to share it the way I asked you to, you would come up to share. you would come here and either give comment access, or it's fine if you wanted to give editor access. And then you would click copy link and done. And then we would come back to, I'm going to kill some of these guys. Come here and paste it, Control V, and then put that space bar at the end. And that should give you access. So let me just try clicking on, oh no, no, that's yours. Let's try this one. I don't know. I'm requesting access. We'll see if it pops up for you, Araceli. So here are some things that can happen when you want to do a collaborative exercise with people. And so the first time you ever do this with your learners, there's always the possibility that some people will not be able to get in. Reasons I know that can cause this are, for example, if your Google account that you are logged into. So I'm currently logged into a Google account, and I think, Annie, maybe you were saying you don't have it, you're not logged into your Google account and you couldn't see your cursor. So it could be that we need everyone to have a Google account. In the past, that was not true. One of the bonuses of Google was that the person who first creates the document has to have a Google account. But other people who are invited to come and see and join in that document do not need a Google account. And maybe that's changed. So I'm going to have to do some research after our session today. So that could be one reason. Another reason that I have experienced is that if the person coming to the workshop, in my case, it's workshops and it's teachers coming, in your case, it might be learners coming, if the Google account that they are using is associated with a workspace account. So workspace, as I mentioned, is the whole suite of Google tools, but it's done through a central organizing principle. So in my case, right now, the Google account that I'm using right here is my personal one. So it's a Gmail, right? NellEckersley@gmail.com. I also have another Google account that is Nell, Nelle, at lacnyc.org that's associated with my work. So my agency, the place I work, applied to have a nonprofit version of Workspace, and we are all in that workspace together. And sometimes the security settings on those workplace Google accounts will not let someone access content that is not created internally. You'll see that with schools, right? With K-12 schools, students often have a Google account that allows them to work in a Google workspace together inside the school, but other people cannot email them or use the Gmail associated with that account if they're outside the organization. So that's a security setting, and that's something in an organization that can be changed if you can go and request it from someone, but that can be a problem, and it's something hard to do in the middle of a session. So you come up with some solutions, right? What are some workarounds? If everyone can't come in here and type together, today we're on Zoom, I can ask you to write your responses in the chat, right? We're not a very large group. That would be very easy for us to do today. If I was in a classroom where we physically were together, maybe I just had them come up and show it on the screen one by one, and we'd look at it together that way, or we'd do something on paper instead. So this is a digital resilience moment. It truly is, where the thing you planned that you've done before that's very easy suddenly doesn't work. So I still don't know why this isn't working. Yes. Lana, did you want to say something, or somebody else?
No. I'm listening.
All right. So did you learn about Google Chrome and how to do your settings there? And are there any questions about the actual assignment?
It was useful in my opinion. For me, it was useful. I learned something I didn't know.
So how do you find the privacy power up button where you can find your third-party cookies? Can someone direct me how you do that?
Dennis, you do
Oh,
that.
sure. Yeah, I forgot I was appointed speaker for the group.
Excellent.
So you would have to you go into the URL area, address area.
Right.
When you click on the icon next to the website,
Exactly.
it gives us the option for cookies inside site data. Then we can click on. Should I share my screen or just tell you?
You can share your screen. I can stop sharing.
Oh, okay.
Shows
So
actually on the screen. It
okay.
was showing Why did you remove it?
No, I didn't remove it. Once the group was transferred over, then everything got shut down, got cut off.
Mine was up to that exact moment on the screen.
Oh, I was
Oh,
showing you my screen though. So
Okay, but still it was pointing.
yeah. What? So
right.
one, go ahead, Dennis, you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. I'll share my screen. All right. So, in the URL area,
And we call that the
okay.
omnibox, just so you all know, because this is very important to have this terminology so you can describe to people where to go. So the omnibox is that very top bar where you can put, what does omni mean? It means everything. So you can put everything up there. You can search for an apple, you could search for a URL. So fantastic. You're up in the omnibox and you clicked on that little
Yeah,
site
it's called view
information.
site information icon.
Yes.
All right. And then we go to cookies and site data, drop down menu here. And then here we can block third-party cookies, turning it on and
Beautiful.
off.
So you've all noticed the cookies, right? When you go to websites, it asks you what level of cookies are you willing to accept and whatever. And some sites don't use your cookies at all, and some use them a lot. I think that's helpful for you sometimes to
Very
know
much.
that you can block other people's cookies there. Appearance and adjustments. How do you customize your browser's appearance? So you can make your appearance look different. How do you do that?
Okay, so customizing our browser appearance. We go to the customize and control Google area right over here, which was called the three dots.
Mhm.
Which we
Okay.
sometimes say is the skinny snowman.
Or,
Skinny snowman.
a sideways ellipse.
I love that. Yes, that works
Yeah,
too.
okay. Then we go to settings. In
Yeah.
settings, we go to appearance, and yeah, we can customize our appearance.
And I would suggest for everyone to spend a little time in this settings area because if you look at that long list on the left side, there's a lot of things you can do here that will make your life maybe more streamlined. I think so. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Dennis. Was the next one about the
Autofill Ace, or
yeah
search engine, what is this? What was number three? Search engine swoop.
yes.
Yeah.
Where do you go to change your default search engine, and what are the default options usually available? Once again, you can go to the three dots here,
Mhm.
settings, and if you go to default browser, you can make your Google Chrome the default browser.
Mhm.
And this is one of those things where, every time you click on a link from an email and it opens in the browser you don't want it to, it doesn't have to be Chrome. Every browser will allow you to say that it can be the default browser, but you can control that. That is you get to make it work the way you want to. So thank you, Dennis. Next question.
Okay, next question is
I think it was number 4. Yes.
oh yeah, find the settings that allows you to manage or delete saved passwords and payment
Oh.
methods. In the URL up here, I guess the URL, we can look for passwords, uh, which would be settings.
And I think that settings button is the same one that you get under the skinny snowman, maybe. So,
Interesting.
or they're slightly different. No, I don't.
Okay.
No. Anyway,
It says URL, we can look up passwords. Look up passwords.
yes. So if you go to the skinny snowman,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the idea that you have your passwords, right? So sometimes maybe the passwords are, so you see the number, like the fifth one
Yeah.
there, and you don't have to click on it because you'll show us all well, they will be hidden passwords, but that's where you can go in and delete passwords that you don't want to have there anymore. Sometimes you'll get a warning that your passwords have
Yeah.
been accessed by a third party or whatever. That's where you go in and do that. So it's under that, again, those 3 dots.
Yeah, I knew this, but it said URL, so that's why I
I,
was over here.
right.
Right. I was like, oh, this must be something new I didn't know.
Yeah. I
But
think you guys maybe type that in because it was just to find the settings that allow. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what
it
that
says we
one
can
was.
look up
Yep,
passwords. So I
I
was like,
gotcha.
maybe this is something new I could learn. Okay.
I gotcha. Yeah, I don't see it
Mm-hmm.
there. Does somebody else want to have another explanation for what you did there, or just maybe typing it in?
Yeah, so when I clicked on new tab
Yes.
and like you can type in like whatever you want to search for, I
Yes.
typed in passwords and then one of the options that it gave me was manage password.
Okay.
So if you
A
type on new
shortcut.
typeword and you type in password, you said?
Up there or down in the middle box?
Yeah, up there on the
Okay.
Omnibox, yeah.
Omnibox, exactly.
Passwords. Oh, manage passwords. Is that
All
what you're
right.
talking about?
So it showed
Oh,
up there. That's
oh
a really
wow.
good shortcut to know about. That's fantastic.
Wow, that's brilliant.
That's nice.
That's brilliant.
And so
Thank
that was
you.
a good example too, where you open a new tab and you still have the Omnibox at the top, but you'll have that other search bar in the middle. And just know that that search bar won't always get you what you want. So if you're getting responses there that are not what you want, try typing it in the Omnibox. We've seen with some URLs, they just don't work in that middle search bar. Excellent. What's our next question? We're going to run
That
out
was
of time
cool.
today. Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, yeah.
Okay. Startup secrets.
I
How do
think
you...
we're on 5, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Download
okay.
detective. Sorry about that.
No,
Where can you specify a different location for your downloaded files or set Chrome to ask where to save each file?
I actually don't know that one. I'm guessing it's under settings.
I was thinking this would be in, if you go to downloads, I was thinking maybe it would be in downloads, but
Maybe.
in downloads, we
Yes.
get this, and this just shows me
All
where,
the downloads that you've
oh
made.
yeah, it just shows me where the
Yeah.
downloads have gone.
So this is
So,
your history of your downloads, but not the other piece, not a setting.
correct.
All right, well, maybe that's going to be homework because I want to get to the last one and then we have a few minutes left. I'm sorry that we're running out of time today and we
It's
didn't
okay.
even get into our stuff, but so go to that last question. So the startup secrets. This I think this is one of the things that makes me I love this because I figured out how to set it up so every time I open my Chrome, exactly the 4 tabs that I want to have open. I don't, every time I know some people keep all their tabs open and you can do that too. So how do we do this one? Startup
I
secrets.
was thinking the same area right here.
Yes.
You go to settings.
Yes.
That's where I was thinking where you go, and you go on startup,
That's right.
right?
So you have a
So
couple of options, right? Open the new tab
Mm,
page,
yeah.
continue where you left off. So if you're someone
Could
who,
be it.
at the end of the day, you want to turn off your computer, or you want to come back to your browser and have the same things be there, that's the second option. And the third option is that every time you start Chrome, it will always go back to these set of
That we assign, yeah.
tabs. Yes. So when I come in the morning and I turn on my computer and I open my Chrome, I'm going to have my Google Drive open, my LAC website open, and my Zoom. And those 3 tabs are just always there and I don't have to set it up every time. So you get to decide the most efficient, useful way for yourself, but
Yeah.
just all these settings are here. So if you're using Chrome a lot, I would recommend that you come in here and play. If you're using Edge or any of the other browsers, they similarly allow you to set up your settings. And, sometimes we don't take the time to do that. So thank you so much, Dennis, for sharing and for taking us through those.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
There you go. So I'm going to share for a second. So I know we didn't really get to go in and play with the actual tools. We got to experience some digital resilience, that's for sure. And just to give us a little quick overview, first of all, I'm going to put the evaluation in the chat because our funder really likes to count our evaluations. So I hope you will do the evaluation. And I also like to get the feedback. So do give feedback. If there's specific topics you'd like to cover or anything like that, please put that in the last question lets you tell me what you'd like to see more or less of. So what the rest of the slides do is take us through the basics of each of these tools. One of the things that's most important for you all to know is how do you get to, if you wanted to create a Google Slides, you can go do that and just play around inside there. But how do you get to Google Slides? Well, one general fact is if you know the name of the type of file you want to create, so slides would be the name of the file that I want to create, I can type slides.google.com and it will open up my slides. If I want to get to my docs, I can do docs.google.com. Under this rule, how would we get to Google Meet? how do you think we could get to Google Meet using the same rule?
Meet.google.com.
Brilliant. So you now know so much. You know how to get to almost every Google, and I only say almost because I'm sure there's something that doesn't work that way. And Gmail is one exception where instead of Gmail, it's mail.google.com. But literally every tool I've ever tried, you can type drive.google.com, right? So every tool out there, that's a shortcut to get in there. As I said, I start up every morning with my Google Drive open. And so my usual way to get to new things is to go to new. What's one other way you know to get to these various tools?
When you go to the Google startup page, you have the Google App Launcher area. That's
Right.
the
So
9 dots.
you're talking about these 9 dots, right? So these
Right.
9 dots, we sometimes call it a waffle, right? So there's lots of different, again, you can use what words you want to, but you want to speak these out loud so your learners can speak back to you and say, well, I went to the waffle or I went to the app launcher. And when you click on the app launcher, you'll see all the tools and you can move these around. So whatever tools are most useful to you, you can have them closer to the top so they're easier to get to. So again, all the things that we want to get to, they're in here. So we have 3 ways to get there. We can go to Drive and under New, we can type the name of the tool .google.com, or we can go to our app launcher. Sometimes you won't see the app launcher. If some reason it goes back and forth, and I find it some places and not other times. But if you see those 9 dots, that's what it is, and it will get you to all the tools. What I learned today, so I knew that docs.new, so going to docs.google.com will take me to all of the docs I've ever made. So if I go up here and I go to docs.google.com, it's going to show me templates. And below, it's going to show me all the docs I've ever made. So I can make a new one here by clicking the plus sign, but I can also easily search all my docs, only docs, no slides, nothing else. But if I just suddenly want to make a new doc, and I just want to have it very quickly, I can write docs.new, again in the Omnibox, and it will just open a doc. Do you think this will work with Meet? If I type in meet.new,
It should.
and it's going to get very confused because I'm already using this camera, so I'm going to stop it now. Yes, it's messed up. But look at that. I could start a meeting that quickly, right? I just typed in meet.new. What about slides? Yeah, slides.new. So you have now several different ways. And what's beautiful about Google is once you learn it in one place, it's often going to be true, or it's worth testing to see if it's true in the other tools, because it means you automatically know so much, right? Maybe you're more familiar with docs. Well, slides can be very similar, right? Okay. We didn't go into slides a lot today, and I heard from several of you that you were interested in slides. We will definitely, I'll either try to bring it in next time, but you can go in and play with slides. And I did put in here in our resources some how-to videos very specifically on how to use those 3 tools for collaboration. If you're looking for general lessons on how to use Google tools, there's also Google Applied Digital Skills. And when you go there, you can put in any tool you want, and it will show you lessons that use that tool. So if we say slides, then these are all lessons that will take you step by step how to use slides to do that work. So if you're someone who can learn on your own, you might want to go check out one of these lessons and see if it helps you learn things. It might be what I've found with these lessons, they're easier for teachers to go through and then take and kind of translate to teach their own learners. But learners can go here. Anyone can go here. It's free and it's there for you. I apologize. We've run out of time, and I know we hit some rough spots. So I will learn a little bit more about what maybe happened today, and I will include that in our slides so that when you get to look at them again, you'll know more. I'll talk about it next time that we're here together. Again, thank you so much for being here and for being so willing to try out new things. And fill out that evaluation, and I'll see some of you hopefully in the next couple of weeks at other workshops.
Absolutely, yes. See you soon. I did already. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if anybody has questions and wants to stick around, I can stick around for a few minutes. Happy to answer questions. All right. So Bernard, I know you were particularly interested in Google Slides. So have you tried just opening up a slide presentation and clicking around inside it?
Excuse me, please.
I think I have your resources link. I can refer to that after our meeting is over.
Beautiful, beautiful. Camille, do you have a question?
I just wanted to say thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt, but my students are coming in now. So
all good. We're done. We're done. You guys have stayed over time.
Plus, Dennis is right here at Canvas, so I'm gonna go look for him.
Excellent, excellent. All right, take care, both of you, and yeah, feel free to reach out if you have questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.